a nice morning. It's a little cloudy out, a little damp, but yeah, we're heading out to plant the last male inrows for our last seed field. I realized something this morning. When you have a canopy on a 40-20, your seed is dry. No dew! And I needed my heat gun this morning for a quick little project. I gotta carry it with me. Look where it fits. The drink holder is not only a drink holder, but AKA a glove holder, and now a heat gun holder. I'm telling you what, 40-20s and canopies and drink holders and brackets and gadgets is a must. Here we go. Heading off to the great cloudy north. Later. Morning, everybody. Welcome back. Another day, another acre. It is Thursday, May 19th. Today will be the last day of planting commercial beans. Still finishing up a bunch of male delays, and Devin is putting the last female in for the year. Badger and I, here he goes on the 40-20. We are headed to a farm to put some more male in. I'm gonna go get the 8400. We will see you over there. We got about 160 acre farm ahead of us. It's a little damp out, but sometimes with the male corn, you don't really have a choice. You just have to put it in. We've actually got the spoked gauge wheels, and we got gauge wheel scrapers on this unit. That helps quite a bit when we have to go when it's maybe a little tacky out. Real nice farm here. It's pretty flat. It's got a little roll on the back end. I got the short point rows down over by the building site. Now we got 3/4 of a mile, half mile along this way, 3/4 that way. Just hammer down, smooth sailing. Later. We're in the home stretch of getting plant 22 done. I'm in one of our last seed corn fields. Decker is doing some male delays in another field that I already planted the other day. In this field, a little different. It was actually a female delay. So a couple days ago, Decker came here with the spike bar. It didn't put in half of the needed male acres. So he basically planted the whole field,
but he only planted at half a rate of the total male that we need out here. Then I'm coming back, putting in 100% of the female and the second half of the male. What that means is that the male seed compared to this female seed is maybe a slightly later maturity, so it needs to be on the ground earlier so that it reaches tassels at the same time the female reaches silk. It's all about matching that pollen window so that the males are shedding pollen when the female silks are out. It's all a timing game. We got about 150-ish acres here, I think. Field kind of changed a little bit with isolation this year, so we'll see how it comes out. Fingers crossed. Seed corn is always kind of nerve-wracking. Once you get going, everything is clicking. Just keep rolling. Keep your nose down. Let her buck. When you look out here, it might be hard to see in the video, but you can see tire tracks, and that you can maybe see it. There's one row on each side of my tires where the male bar went before. So what I did when I came here, I lined up with my block at the very edge, used the same heading Decker used, snapped my line over, made sure I was in between that, made sure the male rows on the planter lined up with the male rows that were planted before. All my spacing was good, snapped my line, and everything seems to be matching up exactly like it should. The biggest thing you want to avoid when you're planting seed corn is you don't want female rows to cross into male rows or vice versa, because when that happens, it creates some confusion. If a sprayer comes here or like a detasseling machine, they call them pullers or cutters, or even if a detasseling crew has to come in here, which sometimes some fields do, they don't, sometimes they do. It's already happened a few times this year. What you got to do is you come in, once the corn gets up, you'll be obvious. You look down the field like, oh, you can see 4 blocks or whatever start to curve weird in the field, or at the start of the edge of the field if your line wasn't quite on. If you got to hit auto steer and it didn't go and you started planting, the planter starts arcing away from you, then you got a problem. Not the end of the world. You just got to keep in mind where that happened, maybe flag it out, then you come back once the corn's up, you take a hoe, sharpen it up, and you just cut that corn out and clean it up to where the corn is nice and straight again. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. Just do what you got to do. Try to avoid it if you can. Biggest thing is take your time, take it slow. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast is a quote that Derek actually heard from a guy that he worked for when he went on the wheat run by the name of Randall Schwenke out of Kansas. So shout out to Randall. It's a pretty nice quote. Makes a lot of sense.
What's up? The last farm got about 30 acres left. Put my hat on backwards, that's how I'm feeling. Got to get normal there.
Ooh, slamming into another gear. Slammer. There you go. 5.5 mile an hour.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I got to go out. Row 6 is having a headache. Oh, he's coming. He's coming.
It's fine. It's fine.
You're making fun of me about something. Well, you want to elaborate on that? So, you're coming up to a building site, and you're going to go by the yard, and the rows don't match up with what you got. So sometimes you kind of curve over and get them lined up, or you stop, you turn around, and you put a new set of 24 in. Then when you come back to the end rows, then you have like maybe 8 point rows to do by the building site. So with beans, it really doesn't matter. So what I did, I just went by the building site. I kind of just curved over a little bit. And then this next round, when we go back, I'll have 24 that'll point row into there. So it's either point rows that way or the 8 point rows in between the building site. So at least this way, when you're coming through, especially if you're planting corn, the rows will just flow right by the building site. Somebody, not mentioning his name, was making fun of him because the rows kind of got, we call them squigglies. Sometimes when you put squigglies in, it lets people know that you are human. And
I mean, I have squigglies too, so.
Yeah, and with a 12 row, you have twice as many squigglies.
Yeah. Now with the male bar, you can't have squigglies.
Yeah, there's no squigglies with that.
And if you do,
not in the dictionary of squiggliness.
If you do, then you're in trouble.
I would like people to comment. when you're planting rows and you go by a building site or you're along a crooked fence row, we call them squigglies. What do you call them?
Yeah.
Comment. What do you call curvy rows, wavies?
The auto steer's off.
What?
I'm joking.
Oh. Why would you do that?
Those are the most detrimental words to a farmer in the 21st century. Your auto steer's not working.
What? Slams on the clutch and the brakes. Oh my gosh. Woo! Bark.
Well, everybody, that is a wrap. Plant 22 is sort of officially done. I guess we can't put a official wrap on it until all the mail delays are done, but you know, as far as commercial and the stuff that we have total control over, that's all she wrote. It's been a great journey. The last week, really the last week and a half, 2 weeks, was just non-stop, really good conditions. We were able to get a lot done. Despite the patchy start, we're a little worried at first, but it was still early on, so there really wasn't much to be worried about. We got everything in. May 19th, last year I think we got done May 3rd. So I mean, 16 days behind last year. You know, it seems like a lot, but you really kind of got to break it down and look at it from a 10-year average perspective, maybe. Talking to Honey Badger, he says usually by this time you're finishing up beans. It's not uncommon to be finishing your beans by May 20th, even into June. He said there's been times where we've been planting beans in June. I would say this is just an average year. You know, looking at the last 2 years, last 2 years have been perfect. We got done really early. You know, what's kind of funny is the last 2 years, I mean, I wouldn't say the yields were the best we've ever had. I think our best yields were in kind of that 16 to 18 range. I guess we'll see what happens this fall, but thanks for coming along on the journey. It's been one heck of a ride. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the funnies.
Is this recording? Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Those pros.
I've never used one of these. Like, I didn't know if there was gonna be a lot of buttons. So it just starts recording once